Hello everyone. It's Khaled. Welcome to today's daily pitch, 8th of April 2026. Let's dive into the latest economic events, technicals, and see what's moving the markets. Well, as you know me, usually we will start with our economic calendar. We will do this, but of course, currently what is holding the most weight and moving the markets is the headlines related to the ceasefire taking place in the Middle East. Let's have a look at the economic calendar first and then move to the charts, see what trade ideas we will have for gold, oil, and the US equities. Okay, guys, so looking at our economic calendar, we can see that we had some economic data for Japan. We had the New Zealand interest rate with no change. As well, we had some economic data for the UK. As for the US session, we don't have any new economic data. But of course, during the Asian session, we had some headlines saying that the US and Iran will have a ceasefire for 14 days. The Strait of Hormuz will open again, and this got the markets, gave some markets some relief. Looking at the charts, this is reflected obviously. Looking at the dollar index, we can see a strong drop on the dollar index, a gap down. This is mainly due to the increase in oil prices and markets expecting that the inflation will not be rising so fast. Parallel to the DXY, we have the treasury yields. The treasury yields 10 years are dropping as well, similar to the dollar index. And as for the VIX or the fear index, we can see a sharp drop, currently at 20. Markets are still watching the headlines if the ceasefire will hold on or any escalation will take place. But for now, the markets are on a risk-on environment. Let's start on with with oil and see what are the possible scenarios we could have and what already took place. Looking at oil, a sharp drop took place, and on oil, approximately we saw more than 10% drop after the ceasefire announcement. We can see the price was at around 105 and it dropped down to the 92. The scenarios I will be looking on for oil are the following. The first scenario, I will be marking this zone. For me, it will be a no trade zone. For me, this area will be a no trade zone. I would like to see the following. Either we see price breaking below the 90.5 retest, and in this case, my next area of interest will be, let me mark this. In case we broke lower, my next area of interest will be down to the 85. It is that's technically speaking, but fundamentally speaking, it's very important to note that even the Strait of Hormuz is open. Due to the logistics, the oil production and oil exports will not be the same as previous to the war quickly. Some oil refineries were targeted during the war, and this needs between 4 to 6 months. And for the oil tankers, in order to fill up oil and started exporting again, this will need a couple of weeks. So that's why I will be a little bit cautious from this price movement. What I would expect to see is the following. Either oil prices just keep consolidating between these two levels, waiting for more clear picture in the markets like this, or in case we are able to break higher and some headlines bringing fear again to the markets, I believe we could be breaking higher. And my next area will be this candle here, like before the market gap at the 105. So in summary, I will be very cautious from oil prices. These are the areas I will be focusing on, and even reaching here the 85, I will monitor the price action. In case I see some rejection like this, I will be looking for the following price action. That's it for me on oil. As I said, it is risky. We need to have more clearer picture, and I explained the fundamentals behind not seeing a strong drop on oil prices. As for the US equities, in general, all the equities saw some relief. The US equities, the Asian equities saw a lot of relief, mainly due that Asia takes the oil from the Middle East, and it was highly affected by the tensions taking place. But let's have a look on the US equities. Let's see who has the cleanest price action. US 30. This was one of our previous analysis on Nasdaq. The price really reacted at this level, then started to move up. What about S&P 500? Okay, let's look at the US 30. Regarding the US 30, we had this level previously at the 45,500. We have this level, and I will be marking this level here as well. The 48, and another one a little bit higher, approximately to the 49. Scenario number one that we could see on the US equities, especially with NYSE open, in case we see that there is still market optimism, even if price moves down, retest these candle highs at the 47,300 and showed me some kind of rejection, I would be looking for the following price action. Whenever price reaches these levels, I will be cautious at the 48,000, 48,100. Two scenarios: in case I see that the bullish momentum is still holding weight, I believe we could be moving higher as well, up to the 48,800 to the 48,900. But in case we see that the bullish momentum is not enough, we're not seeing any intraday candles closing above here and just price consolidating, we could be moving lower and doing the following. Personally, I would like to see this scenario, a retest of the 48,900 and even to the 49,000, and in case I start to see a rejection, I will be looking for the following price action. That's it for the US equities. I know some people wanted to have additional trade ideas, but due to the current situation in the market, the fundamentals are not very clear. You should be very cautious. Finally, looking at gold. On gold, price retested this area that we had previously, 4,860, and currently rejecting. Scenario number one I will be looking on for gold is the following. I can fix this a little bit. The fundamentals currently are supporting gold due to the weakness in the US dollar. So in case the fundamentals keep holding this weight and we don't have any surprising headlines, I believe that even if price goes down and retests the 4,700, rejects this level, we could do the following, and our next target is these candle highs to the left at the 4,850. Scenario number two, in case we saw some sell-off on gold and we are able to break below these candles, the following price action could take place back to the 4,550 and reaching this level. Watch out for the price action. Any formation, any technicals showing a rejection or reversal, I will be looking for something like this. The last area of interest I will be monitoring on gold for now, I will put this one here. In case we have the bullish momentum, especially during NYSE, and we are able to break above this candle high, specifically for me above the 4,900, my next target will be here at the 5,050. You can see this accumulation level to the left, and reaching the 5,050, you have to be very cautious about the price action. We saw here that price broke, rejected, and consolidated for a period of time, then started to have this strong sell-off. So whenever I reach this level, I will monitor the price action. In case I see similar price movement to the one to the left, I will be looking for something like this. So guys, that's it. I wanted to share my trade ideas. If you like our content, don't forget to leave us a like, follow, and subscribe. If you want us to analyze any currency pair, you can type for us in the comment section. And my last tip is that be very cautious whenever you're trading. Although we have a ceasefire, but you can have any headline at any moment which shift the whole market sentiment. That's why you should be very careful. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you soon.